The Toxic Avenger was funny, irreverent, trashy, gory, cheaply charming, and a huge hit for Troma. It's the film that came to define Troma's style after a number of largely forgettable teen sex comedies. Uncle Lloyd, who even put a bust of Toxie over his New York brownstone, and the rest of the Troma family had found their voice. A few years ago, I did a video discussing that voice. You can watch it right here. And in true exploitation filmmaker fashion, the Troma team more or less made the same movie again a few years later. That time they called it Class of Nukem High. That was a cool movie too, and in fact was the very first Troma film I ever saw. Thank you very much, USA Up All Night. But the world wanted more Toxie, so Troma made 2 Toxie sequels. They sucked. Welcome to Exploitation Reviews, and me, Rob, and today I'm taking a look at Citizen Toxie, The Toxic Avenger Part 4 from 2000. I'm not a big fan of the Troma films after the original Class of Nukem High. The Toxie sequels and Class of Nukem High sequels, not my thing. But in the mid-90s, Troma got their mojo back with Tromeo and Juliet, Terra Firma, and this movie, Citizen Toxie, which is maybe the best of those 3. Let's check it out. We open on a recap of the original Toxic Avenger, narrated by a voice you might recognize. I'll give you a hint, he's listed in the credits as Peter Parker.
Melvin became the Toxic Avenger, the first superhero from New Jersey. Then 2 rotten sequels were made. Sorry about that. This is the real sequel.
That's right, Troma is retconning the Toxie stories that the audience didn't like, and we're back in Tromaville with a direct sequel to the original. And we start this sequel at the Tromaville School for the Very Special. Oh yeah, it's gonna be that kind of movie. The Prego teacher is the lovely Debbie Rochon. She's been in tons of stuff, including quite a lot of Troma stuff. The school is attacked by the Diaper Mafia, the leader of which is the writer of this fine picture show, Trent Haga. He went on to write some other stuff that you might have seen. Dead Girl is a gross one that was a minor cult hit back in the day. Some of these Diaper Mafia members get topless and proceed to beat the special children with their toplessness. Naturally, hugely naturally. Seriously, one of the Diaper Mafia members is Playboy model Petra Vercake. So this is nothing that you can see here on YouTube.
Man, I just work here.
But of course, we don't have to stay here. You can now support the channel on Patreon and get access to spicy versions of my reviews. Link is in the description. The Diaper Mafia agrees to talk to the press, as long as it's the bikini news. But uh-oh, that hot bikini anchor is Toxie in disguise. And the Toxie mask here looks pretty cool. I'm not sure if I like it more than the original, but I do like it. Toxie, of course, strikes fear into the hearts and bowels of the criminals. Good thing that guy was wearing a diaper. So this hostage situation quickly turns into a shooting situation.
Well, folks, it looks like we've got another school massacre situation. You want to take this? I did the last 3.
And then it gets worse. There's a bomb. Luckily, Toxie's sidekick, that's Troma regular Joe Fleischer, by the way, he has a solution. Cover the bomb with peanut butter and eat it. Covering difficult to swallow stuff with peanut butter does make it easier to go down. Just ask anyone who's ever had to give a dog a pill. Or my wife. But fun as it is, swallowing didn't work this time. The bomb goes off, Toxie survives with 2 kids, Tito and Sweetie Honey, but everyone else, kablamo. And then something weird is going on. Toxie hops into the car of Sergeant Kabuki Man, but that's not Sergeant Kabuki Man. And why does he call Toxie Noxie? Well, over at the school, this Noxie exits, and he's not exactly the lovable superhero we're used to. Oh man, this movie did not age well. These days, good guys want to disarm the police. So what is going on here? Well, why don't you explain it to us, James Gunn?
As you can plainly see, for every dimension there exists a diametric opposite of that dimension.
That's right, James Gunn is in this movie. Before Superman and Guardians of the Galaxy, James Gunn was a Troma guy. He even wrote Romeo and Juliet. And he's not the only familiar face in this. Corey Feldman will show up later as a doctor. Lemmy is here, but he's in a number of Troma films. Howard Stern fans will appreciate Hank the Angry Drunken Dwarf's appearance. And there's a few others hidden in the background every once in a while. Anyway, Toxie and Noxie explore their worlds, and neither one really likes where they ended up. Toxie, the wholesome dude that he is in an unwholesome world and hates it, and Noxie is disgusted in the opposite direction. So, will Toxie and Noxie be able to get back to where they belong? And is the doctor right that Toxie's girlfriend is pregnant with twins, one of whom is evil? Well, that's enough out of me as far as plot goes. Let's talk some highlights. This movie is freaking hilarious in the most outlandishly offensive ways possible. From the special school to the grandmother who gets hit by a car and then evacuates her bowels, this thing is in the worst of tastes.
Whoa, you're pretty articulate for a druggy special student.
But articulated.
As a person who occasionally writes jokes, this style of humor is very difficult to pull off. It could easily come across as cringy, like when this style of humor is attempted by internet amateurs. Or it could come off as actually offensive, like when this style is attempted by conservatives. Troma makes it work and avoids punching down by, one, making it so over the top that you can't take it seriously. This is where the internet amateurs often fail. And two, we know the Troma team aren't serious anyway because they're actually good people, which is where conservatives fail. And of course, this is a Troma film, so you know it's got plenty of ladies who somehow end up topless. It's not as skinful as Return of the Nukem High movies, but it does pretty well. One particular funny touch in this regard is the sign language interpreter who pops up on the screen without a shirt on. Absolutely no reason for that at all, but that's true about most of this movie. There are no half measures here. It's all wild all the time. In addition to the humor and all these jiggly bits, this thing is full of energy and forward momentum. It starts wild and never stops. It's an all-out assault from beginning to end, one crazy sequence to the next. You barely have a chance to breathe. It's on the longest side at nearly 2 hours, but I doubt you'll notice. The whole movie is irreverent dialogue, nudity, and tons of gore gags. And it was those last things that resulted in over 13 minutes of this being removed from the German version. As always, you suck, Germany. And with all of this chaotic stuff going on and the amateur crew that put it together, it is a small miracle that this thing ever got made at all. I highly recommend watching the making of documentary Apocalypse Soon, the making of Citizen Toxie, after watching the movie.
By and large, people who work here are idiots, and you can't complain about it because all you're doing is complaining to the same idiots.
This documentary comes with many releases of the film, including the release of the film that I have, this 3-disc set from Austria. But beyond all that, the film's not perfect. Like a mutant hero keeping track of his girl's cycle, this film has some shortcomings. Well, I love this movie, and my only complaint is the same complaint I have about every Troma movie: fart jokes aren't funny.